everyone, welcome to the Scene YouTube channel. What this channel is going to be about is you, everybody out there, your cars, your pride and joys, 2 wheels, 4 wheels, 12 wheels, however many wheels you've got, we want it on the channel. It's not about how much it costs, it's about what it means to you. We're going to start this off by looking at my car, my 2015 Fiesta ST3. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. Alright then, welcome to the Scene YouTube channel. Plenty of people do these sort of little car feature videos, but we're going to try and let you find out a bit more about the cars. It's not going to be just a straightforward cinematic. We're going to meet the owners, we're going to find out what they've done to it, what they plan on doing to it, and ultimately, what drives their passion.
Hi Sean.
Hi. It's weird, I want to keep looking that way because I want to get asked questions from that direction and maybe that direction, so bear with us.
You're going to be bobbing and weaving and bobbing and weaving.
That's what I do.
It is. So you've gave everybody a little bit of an introduction to the channel and what we're all about and what we're going to be doing on the channel. You've got yourself, Pudsey in the background, and me over here.
Yep.
What we're going to do is just ask a few quick questions about you, the car, the future, the journey.
Yep.
That's alright with you?
It's fine.
So I would like to start off by asking, why a Fiesta ST?
Why not? I'm a Ford boy through and through. Cut us in half and I'll bleed the blue oval. But I didn't understand why there were so many of these on the road, so I test drove one, completely standard one, nearly 3 years ago. And after that I got it. If you're driving an Asda or whatever other brand you may choose, others are available, it's just a Fiesta. But as soon as you get it on a B road, even in standard form, it's a proper sorted little hot hatch. It's a fun car, and that's what I missed after driving lease cars for so long. And I spent 4.5 months looking, and then I found one. Found what I wanted.
What was the journey and the process like of finding this exact one?
A nightmare. It's an ST. They're all going to have been battered, used, abused, and I didn't expect this to be any different. But I wanted one that had paperwork to show it had been looked after as well.
Right.
And I had a budget. This was over the budget, but every other one I looked at either sounded like a bag of hammers, or the bodywork was rough, or had parts missing, or it had been badly modified and tried to put back to standard. And I didn't want that. I just wanted a standard car with good history, that if it had been driven hard, it had been looked after.
What exactly was it on that day when you went and you test drove this car that made you go, yes, this is my car?
Serviced by Ford every 4,000 miles with paperwork to prove it. Over my budget, but it was the way it was looked after with that. It warranted the extra money. You could see why it needed it. There was no big scrapes, dents, big chunks missing.
So what was the original intention with the car? Because like you mentioned, you'd had company cars, Nevos cars and stuff like that. We know that you've got a history with cars. We know that you've had, how many MR2s now?
14.
14. Now you took a bit of a step back from the car scene and the car world whilst you were having these Nevos cars. What made you, what exactly was your intention when you thought, right, I'm going to get this Fiesta ST, what am I going to do with it? What was your thought process? It
was just a fun car to keep. It was never meant to go to this extreme. It was never even meant to be modified.
So how long did that last?
3 hours. And that wasn't 3 hours from picking the car, that was 3 hours from putting my deposit down on the car.
Wow.
I'd already ordered the wheels, I'd ordered the front splitter, and I'd ordered the spoiler extension, all within like sort of 3 hours of putting the deposit down on the car.
So that's how it all began. Where we're standing at now, you've had a 7-page feature in Fast Forward.
Yep.
You've been in Fast Forward how many times now?
Including the issue that I've just bought today, I think it's 11 now.
11 times. So going back to when you originally bought the car and you thought, well, I'll stick a nice pair of wheels on it, I'll put something, you know, just a little few touches. What are we at now? What have you done to this?
What haven't I done? Obviously still the same wheels, but they've been refurbished in an OEM colour to give that OEM plus look. Full splitter kit, including custom side skirt extensions. So I bought a set, modified them, took a mould and broke the mould. So you'll never get another set like that.
They'll never ever be seen again.
No, it's one of one. Obviously lowered the car because it's never going to be tracked. It's stuck with springs. So it's H&R springs, but everything else is in the handling. So upper and lower front brace, upper and lower rear brace, uprated engine mounts, the whole front end's polybushed. Then you go down, well, I can handle well, so I want power now. So I've done the biggest mistake ever in my life of chasing power. So I've got ITG filters, bigger turbo crossovers, aftermarket turbo, 3-inch from the turbo back, big bare full height intercooler, boost pipes.
So just going back to when you said you made the biggest mistake ever, I hear this all the time, the phrase chasing power.
Yeah.
Can you just explain what that means?
Basically it's just bragging rights. So trying to get the most power you can for the budget you've got. And to me it should be being able to use it.
Okay.
Now I chased a figure. I always, when I started modifying it, I had 300 brake horsepower or more in my head.
Right.
And I got that. But
and that's on standard internals, right? Just to clarify.
It'll take about 400 on standard internals.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean it's enjoyable.
Right. So what did you eventually get it to?
334 brake horsepower with, I think it was 480 or 490 newton meters of torque. Somewhere in that
Fiesta.
region. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
just let that sink in, guys. In a Fiesta. Yeah. And now what have you done to it?
I took the big turbo off, put a smaller hybrid turbo on and detuned it.
So what's it sitting at now?
267 brake horsepower and 401 newton meters of torque.
But the difference is that you can feel in the drive is that every single part of that power you can put down and you can get that out of the car.
Yeah. It's built for sort of a mix of track and B-road. I mean, it'll never see a track, not unless it's a procession lap, because I'm never going to hoon it on track.
Obviously.
I've got too much in it. But it will see B-roads, and it does quite often. I want to come out of a bend and be on boost. So by the time I get to the next bend, I've gone into it as hard as is sensible given the conditions, unless you're in Mexico. Whereas with the bigger turbo, you'd come out of the bend, you'd get the boost, and just as you got the boost, you were on the bend. Right. So you were coming straight off it.
So a little bit of advice to all of the people out there who go chasing the power, what would you say to them?
Think about what you want from the car. It's all well and good being able to say I've got, like I did, 330 plus brake, but if you can't use it on the road or where your intended environment is, so track or B road, think about it.
You're wasting your money basically.
Yeah.
However, you've got to do these mistakes to be able to learn from them, and now you know for future projects or any further things that you're going to do with the car,
yeah,
not to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
And you can give people the advice to be able to not do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So a big question will probably be, what inspired you with the car?
Myself and my own vision.
Okay.
There's too many people copy.
Yeah.
There's too many other people look at a Fiesta, and there's nothing wrong with it, because imitation is the biggest form of flattery. Mm-hmm. But they look at it and go, I like that, and I like that, and I like that. And then before you know it, you've got 20, 30, 40, 100 cars that all look the same, just with a different reg plate.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to go down that route. But at the same time, I've got to take bits from other people's builds, because people have things that are nice.
You're also very limited as to what you can get on the Ford market. Don't get us wrong, Fords are really big to modify, and there is a lot of stuff out there, but it's like you say, there's stuff that you can just pick up off the shelf and be the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
So I totally relate to you on that one. So what's the best way to explain? What do you feel when you're driving the car?
Happy, content, safe, relaxed. Every emotion you can that's a positive one with a car. Like if I'm sitting doing 30 mile an hour through a town centre, I'm happy, it's comfortable and it's pleasurable, and I've still got a smile on my face. If I'm doing 70 going up the hot side through the B roads, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm having fun, because it's other environment. Yeah. It doesn't matter where the car is, it's suited to it and it's built for it.
Yeah.
Rain, hail, snow, it'll handle whatever it gets thrown at it, because it's built to purpose. It's built to be usable every day.
Yeah. So how long have you had the car now?
2.5 years.
Right. So what would you say that your progressive journey has been like with the car, emotionally, financially, and where you're at now with it?
Financially dead.
Welcome to the car world.
That's it. If you want to stay rich in life, one, don't get into the cars, and you're sorted. But it started as meant to be a sensible daily, not touch it, which lasted 3 hours, and that's pretty much the order spec of the wheels, the splitter, and the spoiler extension is how it stayed for like 9 months until I got offered the springs cheap.
Right.
So I was never going to lower it. That was basically how it was going to stay. Maybe put an exhaust system on it at some point, but that was how it was going to stay. I got offered a brand new set of H&R springs for 50 quid. They'd never seen a car.
Yeah, you can't turn that down.
No, so I put them on, and that's how it stayed for sort of 3 months till like the winter time, which is when I went into what I called version 2 of the car. So at the end of that year it was version 1. I'd done the wheels, the splitter, I'd lowered it. Then it was what's version 2, and it snowballed very quickly. In that the skirt extensions were made, the rear spats came, all the strut braces and handling mods came, because I thought, well, if I am going to go down the route of power, I've got to be able to handle it. I've got to be able to get into a bend safely, come out of it safely, but stop as well. So it was like all them little bits came first, so the strut braces and the poly bushing, and getting the geometry set up right. And then that was it for about maybe 5 months, and then the power came. So it was initially just going intercooler and exhaust, filter and a little bit of a map, but that quickly I realised that it wasn't enough. I only had 240 brake and I've only got 267 now, so there's not massive differences, but because of the turbo, the way it's delivered, it totally changed the car. So it lasted at 240-ish for about another 2 months before I quickly got bored and started chasing the higher figures.
Right, okay. So what about you personally? What does the car mean to you?
It sounds cliche because everybody says it, but the car is me. It's been my saviour. Like a lot of people in life, but some aren't happy to admit it, I suffer really bad with mental health issues, whether it be my depression side, my anxiety, EUPD, sad. I've got a lot of things going on in here. This car has kept this and this in sync. So when I've had the times where I've just wanted to curl up in a ball and forget the world, I've gone out in the garage. I've maybe got the cleaning cloths out and just spent some time cleaning it, or I've got the spanners out and I've took the front bumper off to set me intercooler properly, or I've just gone in, filled it up with a tank of V-power and just went out and drove it.
Yeah.
It's actually kept me, to a degree, what your class is sane.
Yeah.
It's stopped us from tipping myself over that edge.
And that's a really good thing. A really good thing. A lot of people just think that cars are just, you know, a metal box that gets you from A to B, but they don't understand what it's like for a car enthusiast and how that can help you.
It's like everybody's got their own vice in life. So anybody who doesn't understand it, I ask what their thing is that they do. So what do they do after work? What do they do at the weekend? And I'd say a good 80 or 90% of people I come into contact with, it's going out for food and drinks or partying at a weekend. And that's me with this car. I go to work Monday to Friday like everybody else, but come the weekend or the night times when I need to switch off or wine and do my own thing, it's not pouring a beer or getting a glass of wine. It's going out for half an hour in that.
Yeah.
It's instead of going out and spending 100 quid at the weekend on beer and some food, it's spending 100 quid, putting 2 tanks of fuel in that and going blasting over the lakes and the moors.
Yeah. And you've probably got a lot better memories because of that, instead of just, you know, picking yourself up off the nightclub floor like most people would do.
Yeah.
And you've got a hell of a lot more to show for it. So, like we had said earlier, you have been featured in Fast Forward magazine, you've had, you know, numerous other features as well. However, we have touched upon the fact that if you did have one of those, what you would call bad days in the norms of society, that you would go and grab a cloth and clean your car. Do you want to go into a little bit more detail as to the extent of that?
Yeah, I suppose I could. I do detail. It's a hobby, it's a passion, and it's a side business I've got. And this car was meant to be, as I'm recording this, off the road in bits for Europe's biggest detailing show, Waxstock. Now, a few years ago in one of my old cars, I was the second cleanest car in Europe, and the aim was the year after when I got this, just to show that I can do it with an older car, which is what I've done. I made the top 16 cleanest cars in Europe.
In Europe?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the idea was this year was my one final big push at keeping it pristine and mint to compete before next year just having it as a I'm going to enjoy this car for what it is sort of scenario. So it was meant to be bumpers off, subframe off the lot, getting everything mint and perfect.
However, Corona happened and kind of ruined everybody's lives.
Yeah.
So what have you done instead?
I've just enjoyed the car. Not forgot about it, because I still do keep a clean car, as you can see.
Yeah.
But I forgot about chasing the perfection and bubble wrapping it and worrying about if I take it here, there, or somewhere else that it's going to get a knock or a chip.
Yeah.
Just get out the garage and use it.
Yeah. So you're now starting to actually enjoy the fruits of your labour, all of the hard work that you've put into it, all of the money that you've put into it.
Yeah.
You're starting to actually enjoy that now.
Yeah, I really am.
So what's next? I mean, looking at the car and hearing the story behind the car, most people will probably think there's nothing left to do with that.
It's far from finished.
Do you want to give us a bit of a...
I did briefly consider getting rid of it, but one thing people say is never meet your heroes. So I went and test drove 5 Mark II Focus RS's, and none of them got us here or here like this does.
Yeah.
I drove standard ones, I drove 500 brake ones, and everything in between, and nothing gave us the satisfaction and the comfort feeling and utter contentment is what this does. So next year, all being well, if the money's there, which who knows, they don't know what's around the corner, but the plan is bare shell respray on it, same colour but with a twist, a lot more carbon fibre.
Yeah.
And some very custom one-off touches in rose gold chrome.
Chrome dipped or wrapped or
Painted.
proper chrome?
Proper chrome paint.
Right, okay. That'll be different then.
Yeah, I've got a vision, it's in here. Whether it works when it goes onto here, who knows, but
You
with the
think
right amount.
The person that's going to do it'll have the same vision as you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few conversations about it now, and they can see what I want to do, and it'll be this business that I'm picking's showpiece in theory for next year. It'll be them showing this is what we can do.
Right.
If you give us the equipment, the tools and the vision, this is what we will turn out.
Right.
Always in awe with this car.
Appreciate that.
The cleanest thing I've ever seen. And as you know, clean cars don't go together. I use and abuse the Get Tread well, but I use them for a purpose. And like you said, yours is for a purpose. But mate, if that makes you happy, you know what I mean? I like to say that nothing more to people, you know what I mean?
Definitely. We're all in it for the same thing, the passion and the love.
I believe the drum camera's just falling over as well.
That's fine, I'll still be on you.
If I suddenly went from here to here, you know why.
We don't do bloopers, we just leave them in, you know? That's the best way to do it, isn't it? Well, I think that's been very, very emotional and informative, so thank you very much, Sean.
It's no problem.
Look forward to the next one.
Whoever that may be.